hear the voice of reason.
Yeah. Welcome to another edition of Tell It How It Is, No Filter. I am your host, the mighty voice of reason. And I appreciate you joining me once again. I always do. Like, comment, share, hit the notification bell, tap in with me. There is something along the way that's going to be helpful for you. You know, stuff that you might have think and you never had a discussion on. It pops up in your mind. You know what I mean? And I'm saying it. And you're like, yo, I was just thinking that. You know what I mean? Anything where we can relate. Let's connect together as one. You know what I mean? I know it's time for a guest. Yeah. I've been holding it down. But if you want to be a guest, you just have to say the word. Tap in on my channel, Voice of Reason NF on YouTube. On Instagram, it's Buzzer Beater, BUZZAHBEATER. That's also the TikTok. Hit me up. You want to be a guest? You have any ideas, topics, subject that you want me to cover? To challenge me, of course. Anyway, I'm waiting on you to hit me. All right? So let's go right in. Men care more about shape than women do overall in partner picking. I have to agree with this. So a dude getting in shape means little to women, and a woman getting in shape means more. Now, let's just pick this apart the proper way. What I mean by that is, of course, your health is A1. And anybody who cares about you, interacts with you on any level, should want to see you be as healthy as possible. So, fellas, if you do decide to get in shape, it's a super plus. I'm just saying that if the girl ain't like you when you wasn't in shape, unless she can honestly say that that was the reason, her seeing you later on getting right is not going to change it. Women have their strange strategies sometimes as to why they do what they do. Not calling it negative or bad or getting on them. I'm just saying, fellas, I swear, if you could get her when you 300, you 300 pounds, you could get her a certain someone and it ain't going to matter. So if you didn't get her and you wasn't 3, let's say you was 250, being 180 lean muscular is really not, I don't see it. But let's get off the joke part of it, the funny part of it, and just go serious. Fellas, we set ourselves up all the time for this. The reason this is even a conversation is because, sorry to say, men do care about the women's shape. Because, in a lot of aspects, partner picking, maybe they would like to use that in there, but you see a lot of guys are not. It's kind of contradictory because what they chase and entice and look at on social media may not be who they're with. Not even close. But what put the battery in for guys to holler in the first place, to approach, to have interest, started from shape, attraction, look. So that's why this subject is here. We care more because we do a lot of our selecting based off that. So now, let's say there was a woman, listen, real quick, funny story. I'll go back. I won't say names. My peoples that know me for 30 plus may be able to remember and put together this, but you're going to have to do that. I'm not going to help you. And it wasn't even just a shape thing, but I'll still use it as an example just to give women flowers that they can make a comeback. So I was probably in like junior high school. Yes, I remember this story. Yes, I remember. We used to crack jokes crazy, like nobody was safe, right? Damn near tears. We putting you in tears with our jokes almost. So there was a particular someone we used to roast and roast and roast. Like, why your parents let you leave the house like that? Now I can relate to both sides because there was a time frame where my parents did me filthy with the going to school looking a little crazy. I ain't gonna lie. Very small. Granny saved the day. God bless. Saved the day. But anyway, so yeah, this particular one, they ain't save her day. We used to smoke her boots. Man, that girl be damn near crying. I'm talking like an entire semester of jokes, right? She just is looking a hot mess. Years later, I'm working somewhere. This how much I ain't giving y'all specifics. Whoever know me for that time frame gonna know who I'm talking about. And I'm giving flowers even in this moment of joking about it. I was working somewhere and I can't remember. This is where age sets in a little bit. So I can't remember if they came to my job because it was retail or I went to theirs, whatever order. I think it was both. Like they came to my retail and I wound up going to theirs for whatever reason. So either way, when I had contact with this person years later, boy, did they clean up nice. And boy, did they remember that I was the butter of the. I made them the butter of the jokes. Like I was key. And a lot of them, probably her self esteem, probably, just her mood, period. Because we made that girl cry a lot or enough. So, boy, did she have the comeback of the decade. Because I couldn't believe it. If I ain't see a name tag, I wouldn't believe her. Well, I ain't gonna stay there too long. That's it with that. That bottom line, because how many men? Let's take all the men back then when we was roasting her. We weren't there with her, right? And mind you, this is worse. This is more superficial because it wasn't even a shape issue. We young, so I don't remember her shape exact, but she wasn't like an overweight person. So it don't even got nothing to do with that. But we just showing you how superficial men are and the things we care about. So let me get through this. All the guys from back then wouldn't piss on her if she was on fire. Not like because her character was dirty, just that's how superficial and looks mattered. But I'm telling you, out of all those guys, from the time she was looking a hot mess, if they were with me that day when I saw her years later, all of them would have hollered. That's a victory for her. At least like for confidence, for self-esteem's sake. And salute to her. Salute to her for that. Because you made a comeback. So now whatever you going through in life now, I hope, God forbid, something's happened worse. You can take that and showed how you survived that. Now you can give us your ass to kiss because we was treating you all kind of crazy. And look what you did. But that's not like a life goal. That's just a confidence for your self-esteem and your looks. Because I know women care low-key about that. They want to look attractive. They want to look appealing when they choose to. So that was dope. But bottom line, to close this out, yes, we care more than they do. They can see greatness in a man and a partner without all of the muscular, gotta be tight. You know what I mean? It helped. Y'all could get there together, but I don't think it's a factor like we make it a factor. Women are more strategic than that. All right? All right. Women will not put themselves out there, really. They can be obsessed with you, like you, lust you. They just not gonna they're not gonna put themselves on blast. I forgot. I be capping because I know a lot of the times I talk to you and I be like, yo, I'm gonna leave it in the timestamps of the people's stuff or something to check out. And I really be like, Tunnel vision. Once I'm like uploading and getting y'all this episode, I don't really make sure I include people unless they're personal people I know and they've been here with me. You feel me? I'll shout them and promote them all day. There was a young lady, I might try to find this one. She was like signs that you're attractive. Signs that women give that find men attractive. The signs. So things like an extended stare. If you catch a woman, fella, staring at you for 2 seconds, 1.5 seconds. If you catch them staring and you look away, you come back and you catch them again. If they just happen to be in your vicinity. Used to be, some other things, not from the same place. If they fixing their hair, if they applying lip gloss. Like, moral of the story is this is the lengths they're gonna go. But that's it. Don't expect straight up. And, some could debate with me and go, yo, that happened to me, though, and I've seen that happen. Yeah, those rare cases was probable and was possible. I don't have a lot of women putting themselves out there. And for just reason. You know what I'm saying? Their confidence, ego, pride, I feel is more fragile, so it gets shattered easier. It's real fragile. They don't want that smoke. They probably give us our flowers indirectly. Like, fellas gotta do the courting, the approaching, the introduction, the ice break. Some of them may actually feel for us like, yo, that's a lot a man has to do. We human. We have ego, confidence, self-esteem, and all of that stuff too. So, when we make the approach to get shut down, that definitely will play right around here. But we got to do it. So women acknowledge that. Like, they may not tell us and scream loud that they know that that's what we go through, but they don't want to go through that. I could tease and joke. Women want all. I have to laugh before I start trouble. What they said? Women want equal rights. Women used to couldn't vote. Women could vote now. Women could go for anything and aim high as any man out here for whatever they want, right? But I bet you don't want these problems. Picture like there was a world, I think, what was that movie? Was it a new Barbie movie or some shit? But anyway, and they still made us look bad, so it didn't matter. Picture the world, somebody just men in black, right? And now women gotta do the approaching. Men can't. It's like a game though. Like it's like it's like a purge for 24 hours or whatever. Because life ain't gonna really carry on like that. But let's just say women had to do that. What a hot mess we would be looking at. Just fellas, the moral of that is just make your move. Make your move. Speak your piece. If you feel a vibe or you think she's into you, say something. Introduce yourself. Ask her her name. Say your name. Subtle. But you gotta go at it. They not coming for you. I don't care how ill you think you are, how well you dress. That be the thing. And we be burning our own selves, fellas. Right? You get your fresh cut. Take a shower, you put on the right cologne. Got the clean footwear, the mean footwear. You got your little jewel shining and all that. You like, oh, I'm on. I'm hot. I'm hot. I'm hotter than fish grease. I'm good. Then you approach. Go back to the first shit. Based off shape and what our eyes tell us. So you go holler at the impossible. Go holler at the impossible whopper. Pause. And then, when it don't go your way, it mess with you a little. Because you thought you was the dopest. And I'm not clowning you. I know how that feel. I know when you got that confidence and you step outside into them streets and you like, look, I work, I damn near worked all week and, did my thing. Now this is me time. And let me step out in here and show, my aura going to say how hard I work. My vibe going to show that. But look at this. Look how I put myself together, right? So you do all of that and then you go approach someone and it don't go right, and you're like, man, they bugging out. They must be blind and deaf or something. No offense to those with such situations for their life. So women get it. Women like, yo, look what women do to put themselves together. Most of them, some of them, majority of them. How much I cleaned that up. The makeup, the eyeliner, the eyeshadow, the weaves, the edges, all the shit that they do to look great. And we already debated that they do that for other women competition wise, but if they do it also for men, that is in there as well, a package deal. But they do all of that. You think that you won't get the luxury of shutting that down if they were to be aggressive? If they do all of that, they come in the spot. They already scoped the room. They already know who they attracted to, who could get it. Yeah, ladies, I know. You walk in there, whether dolly, one homegirl, or a group. Y'all scope the spot. And there's somebody in there you will get them draws to probably. And I ain't saying it's gonna happen on that day and everything's calculated and perfect. I'm just saying, but you ain't gonna put that out there. Is a never know. Listen here. I ain't bragging to brag. Let's be braggadocious a little. Fellas, you got this too. I say this to represent y'all. I don't know how many opportunities I missed because I was thinking they was gonna say something to me, or I was just in my bag, like I don't gotta holler, they holler at me. Nah, you might can make that happen at some level, at some point, but to sit there and rely on that at all stages of your life is crazy. So, fellas, you missed some joints, you dropped some bags, you fumbled some bags, should I say? But it's all good. You live and you learn. But they're not going to put themselves out there. You holler, make the first move as men traditionally should. There should be no debate there. Copy? All right. Only go where you are wanted. Stop trying to force hangouts, gatherings, trips, even birthday parties, baby showers, etc. All right. This is grown up shit right here. Again, I mentioned the words worked hard. Anybody who works a minimum of 40 hours, a minimum of 5 days a week, family or no family, kids, no kids, don't matter. Them days off and that breather you get, you got to be just as wise about how you smooth and do that like you at work. Because ain't no time for the BS. Your time off go by like this anyway. You better be spending it where it's worth it. Because you are worth it. Because it's you dedicating yourself to go spend time on something. So if you could put that together on your own, then it's probably worth your time. If you sitting here just like, type wanting to be fit in and listen, again, I could relate so you don't feel alone and I'm not trying to clown you. Like there's associates with friends, you know what I mean? Like that could be your people's, but they people's is having something that you don't particularly know them. You don't really care. But like the mutual you got in common, they hyping it or they going. So now you sit there pondering, should I go? Knowing you don't know them folks and you can't even half co-sign for the aura you gonna feel. You just set that one out, honestly. We ain't forcing nothing over here. I see people who don't like to be alone. That's what it is. Sadly. There's ways and reasons to meditate and pray on it to see how you can handle, just literally being by yourself. You got to love your own company. You know what I mean? Sell out for that. Lie about that. Dub something because you want to spend time with you. Enjoying your own company more and more. They talk about you got to prepare, you got to prepare yourself and prepare to be in a situation, seek a relationship and actually try to get it to work. It's just as hard staying home and just chilling. It's an assignment because listen, you going out, you forcing a vibe, right? You stay home, fall back, treat yourself. That's kind of tough too because if it was nothing, we wouldn't even have this conversation about not trying to hang out where you're not invited or wanted. Some things just sound lit. Now you got those party people, I ain't gonna lie. You got people who are party, event outside type of people, so they want to know the next thing that's popping. I get that, but I still say a lot of it is forcing. You shouldn't have to do that. You know what I mean? Like there's probably a situation or two that would be supreme beneficial to rock with because you know that these people are your peoples, not because your peoples will call you and say, yo, this dude, this girl, or this person's having this, and it's like, yo, if I don't like them, I mean, not even like them, did I just leak it out? That's a good enough reason right there. But let's just say you don't know. I don't know them. I don't know nobody really that's gonna be there. Why do you feel as excited for me to come with you? Now they may want you just as their company too. I've been in that situation plenty times. How y'all feel? Leave me in the comments or something about, having a friend, push this out, having a friend that invites you to places and you don't even know like the person that invited them. But they kind of just want your company because that's energy they could vouch for. So you basically, you're tag along. Let me know how y'all feel about that situation. If you ever was in it or you had a friend that was, how did you feel? How do you come out that? If I can instigate and stir the pot a little, I'm assuming that they no longer friends after that. Like, stop inviting me to the ops, yo. All right, we're going to close out strong. The light part 2. The happiest dude in the room. Ask him how he's doing for real. Go back. I did a podcast in Philly at the barbershop. This is me pushing out. My fault, y'all. I did a podcast in Philly at the barbershop out there. Those are some dope dudes. Shout out the guys. They know who they is. And we did a pod there, right? So the conversation about the light. So if everywhere you look, you see darkness, you might be the light. Meaning you never get a break. You always entertaining. You're always trying to keep people on the straight and narrow. And now there's no time for yourself. And it's draining. So you need to ask that dude, how is he doing for real? You know what I mean? Because nobody checks in with the light. They see a light, they think the light good. Thank God for the light, right? But it go deeper than that. It's a positive distraction while that person's going through something. So they just make sure everybody else good. That's nobody's assignment. That's not something they were supposed to do, like it's in blood. But they just do it to avoid the drama. Like, let me just chill on that. But you don't need to hold nothing in. If you don't got nobody you could talk to, all these people you the light for, you everybody light. You got to be able to talk to somebody about the shit you going through. You feel me? Like, enough is enough with the one-sidedness. And I guess I could relate because, any environment I'm in, I'm comfortable. So it's like, I be everybody like, you good? Yo, y'all good over there? No doubt. Holla. Yo, I like that, pimpin'. All this positive energy you try to produce on a daily basis, even for probably people who don't deserve that shit, because it's just you. You are the light. I don't want that to change. I represent as a light. Get a shirt, the light. Oh yeah, rest in peace, Aaliyah. You already know the vibe. This damn chair. Anyway, if no one asks you how you doing for real, guess you gotta just keep going, player. I can ask you how you doing. That's probably where it's gonna come from. Guys who are the light like you, you know. Can we create a group chat? Probably not. Not never, but that's not gonna happen on the fly. Keep that energy up though, because it's recognized, and probably in the promised day, you'll do real good for yourself. So to the next time, my 3 P's: stay positive, stay progressive, and stay pushing. I holla.